Actually, who knows?
Bye. Good luck. Bye.
Oh. I think I want to do about your missing work. Have you been up to date on your recent past? You have. Because I have to give a report to her. I want to do, but I don't want you to get into trouble, so I want to talk to you first before I send her that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I know. I weigh like 150 pounds.
Okay. The funny thing is, I only weigh 5 pounds more than you do. So
You do?
scary, yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, Babe
I'm super skinny.
Babe outweighs you.
He outweighs me. He's skinny.
Yeah. He's like a damn twig.
Yeah.
Where do we turn in the test?
Guys, everything gets turned in the tray. You can turn it in the tray. It's a 5-second problem. Get ready to get up. You know why? Okay. You watch.
Excuse me.
Let's
Sorry.
say this guy is fine. Why not do something good? Therefore, the first one guy, 1 to P, or 1 to infinity. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know.
Silly girl, isn't like X basically N? It's like we replace X with N.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it.
No,
my house.
no. What? Okay, what? Well, okay, I'll go back.
Yeah.
I'll go back to
No,
the
you don't.
kind of slam me down. Assume that was the question. The question says find that.
0.7.
And then you look there and say, oh, so we're applying the integral. Yes? So here's what I'll do. See if you can play along. So integral 1 to infinity NP dx. Yes? Yes? If I'm doing this for integral then, it's an integral of 1 to infinity NP power 1 over NP dx. It is exactly the same. It's an NP to x.
Starting a whirl from my jaw like 10 minutes.
It is the integral.
That was a good. Look at the elbow.
I wasn't looking at all that
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
ready?
Read the Bible.
It smells like mint.
But you got alarmed because it is
Ow, ow,
That
ow,
was
ow.
nice.
Ow.
I'm here, don't be alarmed, don't be alarmed. I'm here.
Guys,
I'm a genuinely
guys,
scared.
guys, we can relax.
So
There's no
genuine-
promise here. You don't need to be stressed. Calm down.
Hey, should I record it? Hey!
What is going on?
What are the questions?
Oh!
No. Yeah, that is not.
You're in class.
Yeah. That is a question. Yeah, because what
Hey,
happens
really?
at 4.
Is this on?
I was like,
Oh, it's on, it's on, it's on.
If you choose, you have to vertical action.
right there.
Yeah. If you choose 1, then the whole. So the answer is
Can I rip it this morning?
no. She moves this way. But she's beautiful.
Is that too far? Is that
What
too
the
far?
heck? Where's my name? Homework.
Yes.
I play this.
No.
I can't love falling asleep.
Okay, what?
Oh, no, I don't know what you did. This is how it's done. Oh my god, man. With the first step, correct, not the second step. So then I take the ball and run. And they give you
Smiley
12 GOX. So
face.
this is
Scooter.
25 GOX. Oh, 2
Very
GOX.
nice legs, man.
Dude, my name got erased.
It's a bar.
What's integral?
I'm
Sometimes right.
Nah, I feel like I'm tampering.
Come on, man. Can you fix the finish the problem? Can you just finish the problem? Guys, settle down, please. Everybody, settle down, please. A couple of announcements. Everybody, kindly pay attention. So for next several days, we'll only focus on FRQs. So we're focusing on FRQs. I do not know if you heard from the other class. We have fixed the date for the study session. We're meeting on Monday. Okay, so we're meeting on Monday at 9 for the first and only study session during spring break. Tuesday, we're meeting on AB. For AB, we're meeting on Tuesday. All right? And then if you haven't heard, we're having a potluck also. So bring food. 9. I don't want to tell our absolute end time. It's more like, just like the other thing. We get done, we leave. But usually 1 plus or minus. 1 o'clock plus or minus. So we start at 1. We start at 9. And it's 1 plus or minus. Yes, go
Are you
on.
vegetarian?
No, I eat shrimp and chicken. I don't eat unhealthy meat. So just pork, beef. Those are unhealthy meats. So, or in general, Mr. Bunchen, seafood.
Okay.
So, dolphin, whale. I look in Chicago. I have eaten in a fancy restaurant whale, whale meat. No, but I said I also eat chicken. On occasion, not a whole lot. Because, say, Burger King spicy chicken sandwich, yeah. Burger King spicy chicken sandwich. Shh.
For the FRQs, what range are we aiming for?
Thank you, guys. Miss Dong asked me a legitimate question. I'm answering it. I did this in the other class, so I'm telling you guys. Write it down if you want to, so you don't have to ask me repeatedly. Here's how the FRQs work. Write it on the right, please. There are 6 FRQs, each worth 9 points, making 54 points. And here are the cutoffs for 5, 4s, and 3s. Anything above 45 points is a 5. Okay. Anything, again, there's a small range, it varies from year to year. Sometimes 44, sometimes 46. But in the long run, about 45. Anything above 36, 36, 37 usually. So I've got 37, the worst case. I'm being conservative. Is a 4. Out of 54 points, please understand. And then usually above a 30 is a 3. In simple language, observe how a 3 is so easily attainable. I'm doing the math where you're saying, oh my god, that's it? There are 6 questions. Assume you answer only 3 of them right. Only 3. What's 3 times 9? You just have to answer slightly more than 3. Do you understand that? Like 50+% is a 3. Please have a sense of perspective. A 3 is super achievable. If you answer 3 perfectly right, or distribute among 6 questions, equal to 3 questions, and just maybe one part of another, you are passing the AB exam. So FRQs, Ms. Marzouk told me yesterday when I questioned her, she said, I was here during period 5, and during that 5th period, I was working on the assignment I had got done 8 questions in 55 minutes. So in other words, she took about 6 to 7 minutes per question. And I'm timing you between 8 to 10 minutes per question. I'm just letting you know, the time limit is very, very liberal. So please adhere to the time limit. Guys, I'm being emphatically clear. I forgot to mention this in the other class. I will not accept any assignment from you if it doesn't have a time limit. But please understand, I don't want you to make up a time saying, bloody hell, this scoundrel wants a time here. 198 minutes. What? 198 minutes. It's like 5 days. I'm kidding. 198 minutes is not 5 days. I just wanted to joke about it. Anyway, but the larger point is, don't make up a time, please. I want you. Guys, I'm okay if you have a break. As in, your mom says, come and do these chores. Okay, stop on the stopwatch, go, do your chores, come back, start. But I want a fairly accurate reflection of how long it's taking you. Because kids from last year, feel free, those of you who are friends with kids on Facebook, or nobody's on Facebook now, except me, I'm old-fashioned. Anyway, but if Instagram, Snapchat, feel free to ask me, they will tell you, I did not time myself, and then I found out how difficult it was when we took a time test. Because I was just, so Dom, you're timing yourself, it's not easy going open-ended. So you're taking between 60 and 65 minutes. Marzu will get done in 15 minutes. Today's homework, I've chosen really easy questions to boost your confidence. Oh, I forgot to tell you. So today, you're getting your first exposure for an FRQ test. Okay, you're taking an FRQ test. And it's an easy test. So that will answer your question. So you need to nail down, if you have 6 questions, then that's the cutoffs. I will send you a rubric. I'm sending you the graded rubric. Guys, good news, bad news, depending on your perspective. Tomorrow is the deadline for turning in any missing work from this week. Tomorrow's the deadline. So in other words, if you did not finish the 12 questions you had for homework, you get 500 points. If you grade yourself, I'm not counting it as a test. That's for me to see how you're grading yourself. Like, do you know how to grade? You get another 100 points. And tomorrow's the deadline for turning in anything from this week. I'm just letting you know. Who's raising their hand? You're okay? Yes, sorry.
The AP exam is like half of like the assignment, actually.
Yes. So because I was doing like you have a classwork exercise and homework exercise.
What's the time?
The actual test is 90 minutes, but I time it for 65 minutes to account for what I was telling Ms. Dong. Panic. On the actual day, you will not take 65 minutes. You will take the 90 minutes. If you do it because here's my point, Ms. Eunice. In a relaxed atmosphere, if you take 65 minutes, that's 90 minutes in a stressful atmosphere. If you take 80 minutes, yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. If you take 90 minutes in a relaxed atmosphere, I fear for you. I hope you're very religious. Anyway. Okay, let's move on. And that's what I'm trying to get across. And kids last year, even your older brothers, Javidi is absent. Okay, let's move on, please. Guys, we will pick it up. I'm doing only the hardest questions. Shh. I'm only doing the hardest questions. Feel free to write down if you care about what year, what question came on. We're working on D only. Repeat, we're working on D only. Actually, we'll do C and D. Guys, before 3 o'clock, I'll send you the homework. Please do your homework. Guys, Asian, folded hands. Please do your homework early in the evening. It is self-sabotaging, self-destructive. It's like you're committing intellectual seppuku. Intellectual seppuku. I hope you like the reference. Intellectual seppuku. If you do the homework late in the night. Okay. All right. Let's move on, please. We're doing only C and D. So it says, let R be the region bounded by the x-axis. The graph of y equals radical x. What should we be doing? Sketching. And radical x is shooting star to the origin. And x equals. It's a gimme. They're just throwing points at you. We'll pick it up from C. Because A and B deal with area. That's a stupid question. We'll do C. C says, find the volume of the solid when this region is rotated about the x-axis. Not a trick question. So volume. What should I not forget to write? Pi. Integral to 4. And then, what's the general volume concept? Oh, by the way, solid or whole? Absolute solid, right? So what's my radius? Just F or F minus 0. So is that radical x? What should I not forget to do? Square, dx. And what's radical x squared? It's a stupidly easy problem. Let's take the integral. And the integral of x is? X squared over 2. And then apply upper limit, lower limit. So 4 squared is? And then over 2? Pi. Don't forget the pi, yeah? This is a pi. Everybody okay with C? Okay, we'll focus on D. Read it with me. You don't need to write anything. Read it with me. It says the vertical line, we've done problems like this. X equals K divides the region R into 2 regions such that when these 2 regions are revolved around the x-axis, they generate solids with equal volumes. Find K. So feel free to draw a line X equals K. Okay. Can we write an equation and then just solve it? So, now remember, the 2 solids are equal in volume. So tell me what to write. A1, you mean V1. Volume. So V1 should be equal to V2. She remembers. So the left guy, pi, integral, K, and then radical x square. Dx should be equal to pi, don't forget the pi, K to 4, radical x square again. Dx. Okay, Mr. Arnold asked me smartly, look at me. He said, Rava, can I cancel the pi? Absolutely. You have the same constant on both sides, so you'll be faster. Okay. In AB, now throughout today we've been doing this. In AB, there's a junior called Ms. Arias. She said, Rama, I did it differently. What's this? And I was very impressed with her because that's how the AP does it this, and they say method 2. Because if you look at the rubric, sometimes I'll show you multiple methods to do the problem, and you get full credit for any of those methods. She said, Rama, did we not find the volume in part C? Look at me. Do we not have the total volume in part C? How many of you can see where she's going? Then on the left guy just be half the right guy? How many of you understood that? We already have the total volume in part C and we're splitting into equal parts. So she said, I just did half of the total equals the left guy. Or 2 times the left guy is the right guy. Do you see the logic? So I'm going to do that method. This is okay. So write down method 2. 2 times pi 0 to k radical x square dx. Isn't that 8 pi? Did we not find that to be 8 pi? I hope you understood. So 2 pi and 8 pi just become 4. Did we not integrate this already? So isn't that x and x squared over 2? So is that just k squared over 2 then? Do you see how easy this method is? So you're not solving any crazy. Solve for k yourselves. Tell me the final ones. So in my other class we did the old way. It was a lot of math and we got the answer. So k equals radical 8. Technically, plus or minus radical 8. Radical 8 is 2 radical 2, correct? But are we not clearly on the right side, quadrant 1? So k equals positive 2 radical 2. It's a gimme problem. But I was showing that concept, please be alive. They were guiding you. Part C, we found the volume. Okay, take the ball and run now. Okay, let's do a harder problem, please. We will again focus on C, the last part. That came in 1998, the BC exam. This was the BC exam. Okay, write in the function though. It says, let R be the region in the first quadrant. So please be alive. So this is what you should do, okay, first quadrant. By the graph, 8 minus x 3 halves, write it down. The x-axis and y-axis. Alright? We are talking about a volume guy. We're talking about a volume guy. Look at part B, by the way. And then look at part C. Is it basically the problem we just finished doing? So, is it smart to call the volume or the region, say monkey, so you can take it from there. Okay, let's call it monkey. We're not doing B, but assume the volume was monkey. And then part C is exactly what we did earlier. It says the vertical line x equals k divides it into regions. When the two regions are revolved around the x-axis, they generate solids with equal volumes. Find the volume k. Okay, we're going to set up a volume function. Look at me. What's missing? No, the left hand is easy, man. That's 0. What's missing? Yes. The right bound. Hint, I'm trying to put concepts together. It's a one function problem. So how do we find the right bound? X intercept, find it yourselves. So make a note to yourselves, bound was missing. Bound was missing. Therefore, it's the X intercept. I'm not always going to be there to guide you. Don't shut down and say, how do we always find the bound? If it's a one function problem, find it yourselves. Multiply by negative. Guys, X 3 halves. I am 3. So what should I do? What should I do to both powers? Raise to the power of 2/3. And what's 8 to the power of 2/3? 4. Cube root of 8 is 2. Square it 4. Oh, and just because some of you are saying, but Raman, should we sketch it? Just by staring at the board. We know this is 4, 0. Just by staring at the board. What's the y-intercept? Louder. No, look at the question. What's the y-intercept? 8. Now I have a feel for what's going on in the graph. You don't have to, but I'm just showing you. That's what is going on. Please be alive. If you want to make a sketch and you have no idea, maybe find the intercepts. The intercepts will guide you. Okay, let's set it up. So, V1 equals V2. But we're not doing that, right? We're just doing 2 times the volume should be monkey. Correct? So 2 times integral 0 to... Oh, sorry, I forgot the pi. Thank you. Pi. 0 to... Yeah, k, right? That's x equals k. 0 to k. And that's 8 minus x 3 halves. Square dx should be monkey. Can I divide 2 by both sides? Okay. So I have 0 to k. 8 minus x 3 halves. Square dx equals monkey over 2 pi. Whatever that is. But I'm focused on here. This is the only reason I'm doing this problem. The algebra. Some of you will struggle on the algebra. Stay with me, please. I'm asking the questions. Look at the board, please. Why can I not use the power rule? Why can I not do 8 minus monkey to the power of 3 over 3? Why can I not do that? Mr. Orange. Thank you. He remembers this is not a linear function. This one I can do. This one I cannot use that. Sidebar. We discussed this the other day. I want to see how many of you at this stage in your lives can do this correctly. Assume it was linear. Find me the integral of that. I'll pick on one of you. It's basic skills. It's basic skills. Sorry, Ms. Mendoza. It says integral 8 minus x whole square dx. It's a simple indefinite integral. Do not peek at your partner. Figure it out yourselves. Shh. It is not a trick question. You just have to be careful. Ms. Mendoza. I'm letting you know we're using the power rule. So what do you get? But just be careful though. What are you writing? What do you get? Oh, you're doing that way? No, I don't want you to do it that way. I want you to, what if that was as my joke went the other day? What if it was 12? Use the power rule. Then you can't distribute. So just use the power rule for 8 minus x whole square. We have a shortcut because that's a linear expression. 8 minus x over. Very good. I was looking for the negative. Make sure you got 8 minus x cubed over negative 3. Those divided by the derivative. That's where some of you make mistakes. You have to be alert. Okay, let's pick it up from here, please. Okay, I'm going to go back to this problem. Stay with me. So it's not linear as Oda says, so I don't have a shortcut. Okay, so I'm going to expand. Relax. It's a minus b whole square. What's your first term going to be? 64. Okay, now careful. Let me help you with this middle term. Let's put a 1 there to make it easy. In case you've forgotten your IM3 pre-calc skills, I'm speaking, you just multiply these numbers. So what's my middle number? And what's my letter? X 3/2. It's okay. Okay, now careful with the last guy. Do account for there's a negative sign, okay? So there are 2 ways you can do this. Method 1, I can just do negative x 3/2 times negative x 3/2. If you do it this way, observe the sign, then you add powers and you simplify. Repeat, negative x 3/2 times negative x 3/2. If you do that way, you should add powers. Or you can just square it. In which case the exponent rule is you multiply powers. In either case, what's your third term? Positive x cubed. Check if you got that. Now can we easily integrate? Okay, that was I just wanted to show you that. Let's move on. Okay. 1999 BC1. Okay. Copy down x of t and y of t. And please understand, these are not questions I'm making. These are actual release questions from the AP exam. Oh, right on the domain. The domain is 0 to pi. Okay, t goes from 0 to pi. Please be efficient consumers of information. As you read the problem, write down stuff. So you're not wasting time constantly rereading the problem. Okay, part A. We have not. We discussed a question like this once when I was teaching the calculus of parametric functions. We did this once, and never again. But they asked it in 1999. Fine. They've never asked it again. But hey, you need to know how to do it. So I need x of t, y of t. Look at the axis, x and y. Oh, by the way, just to be clear, it is a calculator problem. So what could I do? Make a guess. Rama, why don't you just do this and I can... Anybody? Yes. Sorry? And what does the equation do? It says x of t equals t square ln and then sine t. Like, what equation would you write? Miss Marzu? No, you can do much more and much better than that, yes. No, that's what he's saying. That's going to be tedious. No, one of you was saying something.
Can you just plug it in your calculator?
Thank you. Oh, no. You can plug it. There's a there's a parametric function command, but they wanted some...
Graph, right?
Yeah, but there is a graph. You can go to parametric mode. But much easier, I can just observe the domain, 0 to pi. I can just plug in a bunch of values. Yeah. It says t goes from 0 to pi. Can I just plug in a few values for t, plot them, and have x and y and graph it? No, it wasn't a trick question. Yeah, just connect the dots. Okay, let's do a couple. No, really, that's what they wanted. In the rubric, they said, check if the kid has like 3 or 4 points. That's all they wanted. Okay, let's do this. We did this on day one when I said, can I just take a bunch of values of t and plug it into x and y? I'll give you points. Okay, assume we do 0. Okay, you want to start with 0. So this is looking at like a table. So t equals 0. This is x, this is y. What's 0 squared? What's ln of 1? Okay, so x is 0. What's sine of 0? Okay, that wasn't bad at all. Yeah, you're starting there. Okay, should we plug in anything? Like pi over 2? Why not? But relax. Is that pi over 2 square over 2 minus ln 1 plus pi over 2 on a calculator? Okay. What's sine of 90? Times 3. So is this like monkey comma 3? So y is 3. And this guy's monkey somewhere like that. Whatever that is. I know it's a positive number. Okay. Let's take pi. I'm just making this up. What's sine of pi? So the y, so you're here somewhere. And then likewise, pi square ln 1 plus pi. So here somewhere. Right? So I just make a note, that was 0, that guy is pi over 2, that guy is pi. And then read the other thing. It says indicate the direction of motion. This is what they wanted. That's the direction. What Ms. Romero said, just connect the points. But it says indicate direction. We started at 0, went to pi. That's it. And they said we want kids to take about 4 values. I took 3. You can take another random point. You can take 2. Does 2 lie between 0 and pi? Let's take another value. Can we take 3? Anything. Doesn't matter. Just take the ball and run. Okay. Now we're doing actual calculus. Stay with me, please. Now, guys, for those of you not aware, the parametric function test was insanely high scoring. So this is that. These are those questions. Part B. Read the question, please. It says, at what time in the interval 0 to pi does x of t attain its minimum value? So what are they asking for? Thank you. Absolute min. It's a giddy problem. Remember, it's a calculator problem. So in general, I want the absolute min. Guys, if I was a better teacher, throughout the year, I would say this absolute min of x of t. So you know what we're minimizing. So we should consider, and so for endpoints, is it basically 0 and pi? T equals 0 and pi. Okay, nobody speaks. How do we find the critical point of any function? The derivative should be 0. Assume I get monkey and donkey. I don't know, I don't care. Okay. Now, just to be clear, please understand my calculator is doing all the hard work. Can I enter that? I'm speaking, so look at the board. So for those of you who say, man, I forgot how to do that on a calculator. Is that f1 of x? Can I use the mustache key and graph d over dx of f1 of x? Suppress f1, find the intercepts. We're done. And then last step, I need to into x of t, evaluate. So final answer, just make a note, x of 0 or find. X of 0, x of pi, x of monkey, x of donkey. Write a conclusion. That's it. Okay, read on. What else does it say? What is the position of the particle at that time? Assume the answer was monkey. Wait, it gets even better. Do we obviously know the x position? We just found it. So for position. So am I just finding x of monkey, which I know, and then y? Don't we know the y of t function? Just find y of monkey. Yeah. That was like 4 points or 5 points for that question. And the last question, part C. Let's do part C together. We've discussed exactly that problem repeatedly. It says, at what time is the particle on the y-axis? Nobody speaks. Think about it. So if it's on the y-axis, what should be true? Nobody speaks. It's not a trick question. Mr. Huynh. If something is on the y-axis, the particle is moving and it hits the y-axis. So what must be true then? What position is 0? It's on the y-axis. Mr. Torres. The x position should be 0. Silly boy. It's like intercepts. If you're on the y-axis, isn't the x 0? Yeah, so just make a note to yourselves. If you're on the y-axis, can I just set x of t equal to 0? Will my calculator do that? And then read the second part of the question. Find the speed. Assume for a second the answer was monkey. Simple thing, otherwise you need to be reading the Bible, you're otherwise leaving points on the table. Can you please write down a speed formula at monkey? I need speed at t equal to monkey. I'll pick on one of you. You're leaving points because you're not coming prepared. Mr. Ariano.
Would it be radical x dash t squared plus
X dash monkey square plus y dash monkey square. You're going to calculate mode, not to graph mode. Okay. That's a gimme. Type it in. And then it says acceleration vector of the particle. So what's a of t? Thank you. X double dash of monkey and y dash. And do we have a numerical double derivative key anyway? The answer shows up. It's a gimme. This is a vector as an x and a y. Remember, you have two x. It's a gimme. And by the way, 9 points. This calculator is doing all the hard work. 9 points. Just show some work. Ask me.
Like, the distance one is one thing.
Sorry? Yeah. So distance has integral. Take speed and take integral. Gives you distance. Yes, ask me.
which one has left to the value?
Oh, okay. We've discussed this before because Ms. Marzuk asked me when I taught it the first time. He says, wait a second. For speed, you mean this? Were you talking about distance or speed?
I was saying which one has the actual value?
Sorry. That's what first semester. Okay, good question. It may be on today's homework. Write this down, please. Okay, write this down, please. Formula review. It's there in the Bible, though. A couple of things. We'll discuss two concepts. First, who, if anybody, remembers this formula? Louder. Thank you. She correctly says absolute value velocity. Okay, the other one is distance. Is absolute value. Oh, integral. Sorry, integral t1 to t2 absolute value velocity. Now I'm putting concepts together. Some of you will have a mind-blowing experience. Isn't the absolute value velocity speed? So what? I'm just tying up the concept. So Miss Eunice, the integral of the speed function will give you distance. That makes perfect sense. I'm tying up the concepts. Saying, that's why that formula makes so much sense. Yeah. It is the same formula. Okay. But the other concept is this from Mr. What's his name? Ben Suvia. Guys, look at the board. So he says, so for distance, why are we not putting absolute value? Here's the reason. Look at the board, please. For the second parametric function, are we squaring a number? Are we squaring another number? Will these return positive? Are we taking the positive square root? I don't need an absolute value for the parametric function. In case you say why. It's not incorrect, but the calculus is going to ignore it, saying I have a positive number anyway. Fine. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Did I assign this for homework at all? Okay, I did not. I assigned it for AB. Now I'm letting you know ABC were like super easy. We'll pick it up from D. D was a hard one. Can you please get it as precisely as you can, but swiftly, not like, oh my god, it bends only so much. No, just a quick graph. Intercepts are -5, -1, 5, and then endpoints are -7, 7. So, again, A, B, and C were ridiculously easy. We've been doing it since the first semester. But D was a concept question. Like, how do we do that? Okay, I'm going to scroll down. I encourage you to copy down D. Copy down D, please. And then we'll discuss why it is challenging. Again, copy down D, please. Oh, by the way, was Javidi here today? No? Okay. I just want to know if he was coming late from AP letter. Okay. After you copy that, put your pencils down so I can discuss why D is challenging. Okay, please put your pencils down so you can look at me and I can address you. Okay, look at me please. In all absolute and maximum problems, they're all of just two kinds. Number one, I give you the function so that I can evaluate it. Remember, I have to say, okay, I have to write a conclusion. So do I not need to have the original function? Here's the other kind of problem. I give you a graph like that because you may say, no, Rama, we've done questions where they gave you a graph. No, but they also gave you one thing else. What's this? They would give us an initial value, something like this. Look at the board. Assume f of -7 was 3. Because they gave you f dash, can we then use net change? How many of you remember that? Like, yeah, we've done problems like that. No. Another thing was this. Wouldn't the figure they gave us actually be a nice regular figure like this? So we can do triangles, semicircles, rectangles, or whatever. Do you understand how the questions we have done have been one of those two kinds? Let me say this again. If I want to find the absolute maximum, I need to be given the original function and a starting value, so I can use net change. Or you give a starting value and a graph of f dash, then I can use net change corollary, I can answer the question. Everybody okay there? This problem is challenging because this. Read the paragraph if you need to, but they don't give us an f value at all. Number one. Number two, it's an irregular figure. And they say find the absolute maximum. Relax, we'll use logic. We'll start as we always do. Stay with me, please. If I want absolute maximum, I should consider the and. Okay, I want absolute maximum. Look at the board. This is the f dash graph. So ask you, so maximum, what happens? Which are the only points I should consider? Or simpler question, which value do we not care about? I want the absolute maximum. Think about the definition of critical point. -5 and possibly 5, because f dash is 0. Why is -1 irrelevant to the problem? It's going from negative to positive. That's a relative minimum. You could argue 5, Rama, that's not even a relative, it's not even an extreme because you're not switching signs. But remember, the definition is critical point, so that's a critical point. F dash is 0. So let's start working. So for absolute max of f, it is a smart way to write, okay, that's f. We're going to consider endpoints, which is x equals -7 and x equals 7. The critical points, I should consider -5, I could consider 5, because it is a critical point. Okay, so I'm giving you a strategy. Feel free to write this on your notebooks, because I haven't sketched it. We're going to go left to right. I'm going to compare these values. I'm going to compare these values successively. I'm going to go left to right, and the answer will just magically show up. Okay, put your pencils down. Okay, put your pencils down. Now I need the f function. Okay, I'm not asking you a trick question. If I give you f dash, repeat, if I give you f dash and I want f, what operation is involved? Integral. Now if there's a figure, when I'm finding integrals, I'm really finding the area. Keep that in mind. That's an important idea. So let me speak slowly. So I'm going to calculate areas. I'm not going to actually calculate them, but I'll just eyeball it. Everybody okay there? So assume for a second we knew f of -7. Assume it's monkey. I don't care about it. Okay, look at it. We're going left to right. Nobody speaks. Raise your hand and say, is f of -5 going to be bigger than f of -7 or smaller? Nobody speaks. We're going left to right. It's not a trick question. Mrs. Psycho-C? Greater than? Give me one reason. I love this guy. He ignored my instruction. He came up with a different way to do the problem. And in the other class, I think Mr. Pico answered it this way. Look at the board, please. Remember, I just finished saying area. We just look at areas. He says, I'm not going to look at areas. He says, f dash is above the axis. Remember, that's f dash. If f dash is positive, f of x must be increasing. He makes that connection. So, is it obvious then that f of -5 must be bigger than f of -7? Because you're increasing. Okay, let's go back to what my instructions were. We're talking about areas. We're going left to right. Because we'll get the same answer in a different way. Why must f of -5 be bigger than f of -7? No, it's not a trick question. Yes, Ms. Marzuki. You're above the axis and we're going left to right. Yes? And we're not adding a positive area. So I don't care what that number is. Assume that's -100. Am I adding a positive number? Will it be bigger than what -100 is? How many we get that? It doesn't matter what that number is. So let's write two explanations. So I'm just going to compare successively left to right. So I begin by saying f of negative 5 is bigger than f of negative 7 since, and I will incorporate what Mr. Psychosy said. Method 1. The AP will accept both methods. Method 1. F dash is greater than 0 over negative 5 to negative 7. Therefore, f is increasing. So that's one explanation that accepts. So we know f of negative 5 is bigger. And the alternate explanation is I'll use net change corollary. Because f of negative 5 is f of negative 7 plus integral from negative 7 to negative 5 f dash. And we know that that integral is a positive number, greater than 0. So that guy must be bigger than that. I have some number, I'm adding a positive number. Will I get a bigger number? Okay. Now let's go to the second one. So we compared these two guys. I know this guy is bigger. Which is the next guy I should compare it with? F5. Okay. See if you can use the logic yourself and write me an explanation. Eyeball it. Look at the board. We know that f of 5 must be bigger or smaller than negative 5? Bigger? Yes, you're right. Why? Do we have a larger positive area than a negative area? Write me an explanation yourselves. Since, hint, based on net change corollary. Since f of 5 is f of negative 5 plus negative 5 to 5 f dash dx. And we know that guy is positive. Make a note from the figure. How do you know that? No, from the figure we're looking at the areas. And then the last one, which two guys should we compare? Do that yourselves. Be smart. I want to see if learning happened. Also write Mr. Psychosy's explanation. And f of 7 should clearly be larger than f of 5. Why? Okay. One reason is that's a positive area using net change corollary. Or according to Psychosy, is f dash positive. So f should be increasing. Don't forget to write a conclusion. Therefore, we have an absolute max at x equals 7. Okay. So we use logic and reason. Ms. Hanson, relax. I'm calling it out. So one method would be f of 7 greater than f of 5 since f of 7 equals f of 5 plus integral 5 to 7 f dash, and that f dash guy is greater than 0 from the figure. It's a positive area, left to right. And the other reason is since over 5 to 7, f dash is greater than 0, therefore f should be increasing. Okay. Yes, please.
Do you have to give both?
No, I'm a teacher. I accepted, hey, both logic make perfect sense. They wanted just one of them. And to answer the question that is simmering in your minds, yes, they wanted a detailed explanation. Not just because, guys, these are not acceptable reasons. That is no longer considered an acceptable this thing. It is no longer considered persuasive. 2000 it was. They accepted that explanation by prophecy. Oh my God, how cute is this guy? He says, oh, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh, this would be a funny one though. Yeah. You actually write that as an explanation. That's what she said. Anyway, guys, we're doing the next question. Read the question, be smart. Read the question, be smart consumers of information. As you read it, write something down. So you're not reading it the second time. Be smart. Do not read it the second time. Baba, copy down. Focus. She's probably thinking, what's my chacha in Bangladesh doing now? Focus now. So it says, a particle moves along the curve defined by y equals x cubed minus 3x. The x coordinate, x of t, satisfies the differential equation x dash of t, or dx over dt, equals 1 over radical 2t plus 1 for t greater or equal to 0, with the initial condition x of 0 is negative 4. Is that clear? It's a gimme. We can get all 9 points. We can get all 9 points. Stay with me. Oh, this was a no calculator problem. So we're finding x of t. So what am I just writing? Plus x dash dt. What's x of 0 given to me? Plus. Okay, let's integrate that. Nobody speaks. Write down the integral carefully. I'll give you a hint. That's 1 over radical monkey. But be careful though. Careful. Radical 2t plus 1. That's it, right? If you do it correctly, that's it, right? For those of you who don't get it. It's actually 2 radical 2t plus 1, but will we divide by 2? It'll adjust itself. Lower limit, upper limit. Okay, look down. When I plug in the upper guy, will I get the function? But when I plug in the lower guy, and what does it really become? Do I write 1 or negative 1? It's a lower limit, right? Minus 1. So the function really is negative 5 plus radical 2t plus 1 or 2t plus 1 minus 5 radical. Yeah, you can write it that way. There, that's 2 points. 2 points for that. Okay, let's do question number B. Feel free to copy down the problem because this was important. Certain students were not following instructions. It says in terms of t. Okay, careful though. Careful. In terms of t. Have they given us y? Y equals x cubed minus 3x. Okay, let's see who realizes what's going on. And I need dy over dt. Careful! Careful! Okay, tell me what to write. Very good! They were saying, look at me. When you say x is a function of time, they were saying who realizes it's actually a related rates problem. So 3x squared dx over dt minus 3 dx over dt. Everybody okay there? Now stop. Have we answered that question? Read the question. No. But wait. We need x. Did we not just find x? Please be alive. Yeah, please be alive. They're helping you. Just be alive. So what is that crazy expression I'm writing? Negative 5 plus radical 2t plus 1 squared times. Yeah, be alive. Isn't that dx over dt? Just follow instructions. Otherwise you're leaving points on the table. Plus minus 3. I want you to relax. That was in the rubric. They were just saying who can follow instructions in terms of t. Is that a gimme? Okay, part C we'll only talk about, we won't do it. Because it was just a plug-in problem. It says find the location. What does the word location mean? Position, thank you. So what 2 things were we interested in? Feel free to write the word location, which is position. So I need x of t and... Wait a second. Don't we have x of t from part A? Can we just plug in 4? Just be alive. Just be alive. What else do we need? Y of t. And... And y of t. How do we find y of t? What do we know? No. Easier than that.
Oh, we know x.
We know. Yeah, be alive. Would we not have found x of t? Would we not have found x of 4? Can we plug that in there? He's like, should we integrate? No, be alive. These are gimme problems. Like just who sees like I have that information. Alright, so and then what else do we want? Is that x dash of t, y dash of t? Stop! Isn't that x dash of t? Can we plug it in there? And then, here's y dash of t, right? Just be alive, just be alive. It's a gimme. They're just saying who's attentive. We already found everything. Just plug in the right spot. Let's move on. Okay, this is a big problem. This is there on today's homework. But you're allowed a calculator. We've done 100 of these problems. Okay, this is the object of today's lesson. I think we have 1.5 more problems and we're done. Let's do this together. Guys, please process information efficiently. As you read, you should be writing something down. So read it with me. Water is pumped into a tank at a rate of... Okay, nobody speaks. For those of you who remember, what shall I be writing on the left-hand side? Nobody speaks. I'm giving you thinking time. If you want, read the second sentence, you'll say, oh, I get it. Read the second sentence, you'll say, oh, I see what's going on here. Right? So, it says water is pumped into the tank. So what shall I call the left-hand side? I of t, very good. I can write I of t. What else can I write? E of t, because entering function. Okay, let's do a sidebar. I'm doing notes. So this is the famous rate in, rate out function. And in case some of you are bothered, like, why are we doing so many of these? Because you're guaranteed, let me say that again, you're guaranteed one question and for you 9 points on that concept. So keep in mind, for rate in we use one of these concepts. We call I of t as an in or E of t as an entering. And for rate out, we call the O of t as an out or L of t leaving. Hope that comes back. Oh, I take that back. It's 8 gallons per minute, correct? Units. Now read the second sentence. Tell me what to write. It says, water leaks out. So that's L of t or O of t at the rate of radical t plus 1 gallons per minute. Stupidly easy problem, guys. In the other class, there were kids astounded, like, that is an actual problem? This is a gimme. It took us 5 minutes to do. Okay, 0 to 120 minutes. It's smart to write on the domain. It's relevant to the problem. Okay, watch. At time t equal to 0, the tank contains 30 gallons of water. What should we be writing? Careful? Okay, you can either write V of 0 or A of 0. Okay, assume you say A of 0. Okay, now let me be clear. The AP marked you down because once we write this, what do we write next step? A dash of t is I of t minus L of t. I'm going to call that E of t as an entering and leaving. But because I should match with O, right? It's kind of odd. So say E of t minus L of t. Now what's this? The AP marked you down 1 point in your work. For what reason? Very smart. She says you didn't define A. They're saying, where does the A appear from? So make a note, please. Draw a skull. You need to define A of t. Define A of t. Otherwise, this is a function you just introduced. It's there in your mind. So make a note. That's the amount of water in the tank at time t. I always do so. I don't know if you guys do. I always do so. Now we're good to go. We'll do this in 5 minutes. Okay. We're doing A. No, I'm not kidding. That is the actual question. Write me something. It says, how many gallons of water have leaked out of the tank 0 to 3 minutes? So tell me what to write. Integral 0 to 3 L of t dt. Now stop. Here's the reason this question was interesting. Guys, for the first time, they wanted you to do this by hand. Because what's L of t after all? Look down. What's L of t? Is that easy to integrate? Let's do it. Look down. So 0 to 3, radical, t plus 1, dt. Integral of radical t plus 1 to the power of times lower limit, upper limit, 3 plus 1, square root, cube it, 16 thirds, minus 2 thirds. Final answer, gallons, units. Everybody okay there? Not very difficult. Okay, we're doing B. No, I'm not bringing this up. That's all they want. Give me a left-hand side and a right-hand side. How many gallons of water are in the tank at equal to 3? Give me a left-hand side and give me a right-hand side. So what's my left-hand side? A of 3 equals plus 0 to 3. And what's A dash? Can we plug it in? 30 plus 0 to 3. E of t. No, I'm an idiot. Can we directly go 8 minus radical t plus 1? Because I need to solve it. We won't do it. We'll talk about it though. We won't do it. Because what's the integral of 8? 8t. Did we not integrate that earlier? Can we plug it in and solve? Yeah. C. No, don't be incredulous. That was the actual question. It says, write an expression for A of t. Do it. That's all they wanted. So A of t is I'm just going to write the final answer. Yes? I'm just writing the final answer. We get. That was a 1 point problem. Just don't leave it. Okay, now let's do D together. And then you'll say, oh my god, that concept appears so frequently on the AP exam. It says, at what time 0 to 120 is the amount of water in the tank? So what concept is this? Therefore we consider, is that happening over and over again? It's a gimme. So we want absolute max. I'm writing good notes. Of A of t. So we should consider t equal to 0, 120 and critical points. What's the concept of critical point again? Stop. How do we find the critical point of any function? Take the derivative, which is a dash. And what is a dash? Thank you. So is that, write down a dash of t, which is e of t minus l of t. But these kids are already ahead. Is that 8 minus radical t plus 1? Equal to 0. Set it equal to 0. Stop. The AP, because Ms. Marzuk, she looked at the rubric very, very carefully with a tooth comb. That's an English expression. Like very, very carefully, minutely. And she realized, and Eunice did too, she realized, raise your hand if you looked at the rubric carefully, don't they do sometimes some questions in a little weird fashion? And that's okay. Which is why, in case you're wondering, that's why I have Ms. Marzuk also send her solutions. Because if yours matches with hers, we're good to go. In case you say, mine doesn't match with the rubric. But if you do it the way we do it, you'll still get full credit. But don't relax, your final answer will match. So I'm also having Ms. Marzuk send. So I say, Ms. Marzuk, please check. So I'm requesting her to do the homework early. She looks at the rubric, we discuss the rubric and she says, what if I wrote this? I'll say, yeah, that's okay. It's the same thing. And she says, but I'll get that. I'll say, no, that's fine. It's the same thing. And then we'll talk about the rubric and then she sends the solutions. But please look at the AP rubric. You need to learn. Okay, the AP rubric had this. Remember we have A dash of t? Look at me, Romero. Wasn't A of t this? I'm like blowing your mind saying, oh, that's true. Wasn't A of t this expression? Yes? They realize some kids take A dash of t for that guy. Isn't that possible? But relax. We'll be fine. Some of you say, oh, if my concepts are clear, I should still get the answer. What? Let's do this together. Write down method 2. What's the integral of 30? 0. Sorry, I meant derivative, right? What's the derivative of 30? And I'm finding derivatives. FT, you see it come back. FTC2. So am I just plugging in t everywhere? So is that just 8 minus radical t plus 1 times 1 minus 0? When you plug in 0 times the derivative, won't you end up at the same spot? You're fine. Okay, look down and solve for t yourselves. Basic IM3 stuff. Subtract, multiply, square both sides, solve for t yourselves. Look down. Slow and steady. Find t yourselves. 63?
Yeah.
Check it out, 63. We're not doing it, just write, evaluate A of 0, A of 120. Relax, A of 0 we know. A of 120 and A of 63. Slow and steady, the numbers work out. So this was a problem, they were giving you practice. What if I didn't give you a calculator? Yeah, I can integrate, it's fine. Okay, last 2 questions, that was easy. Guys, you had this question yesterday, but I was teaching in AB we discussed this today. Look at me please. Don't get alarmed. Everybody, look at me. I'm helping you. Please interpret the problem exactly the way it's written. For example, if they say average acceleration, is that 1 over b minus a acceleration? And say, but I don't have that. Can I rewrite? Old rules will work out. Because she's saying, man, the total thing took me like, she took 55 and I had like 20 minutes. I timed it for 90 minutes to 100 minutes. She said she took out 75 minutes. But the point is, if your concepts are clear, you've done what we've done, you should be fine. Interpret the problem, the answer will just work itself out. Okay. Know your formulas though. Okay. Last 2 questions. We have time to do A, B, C and then part A and then we left. Okay. Copy down the function. This is 2000 AB, BC 5. In other words, it's an overlap question. Came on the AB exam and the BC exam. For those of you curious, because I mentioned this to Marzuk and Rios last year, 3 of the questions on the AB exam appear on the BC exam. There are 3 overlap questions in FRQs. Okay, so they give us xy squared minus x cubed y equal to 6. Is that clear? I'm going to safely assume that all of you can do part A without making mistakes. Should we do implicit differentiation and then solve for y dash? Everybody okay there? We'll pick it up from B. By the way, copy down A though, because it's relevant for the other problems. Copy down A. It says show that. Again, at this stage of your lives, I hope you can do implicit differentiation carefully, solve for y dash, isolate the y dash, solve for it. So A is a gimme. Okay, part B, let's do this slowly. Find all points on the curve whose x value is 1. So what should I just do? It says find all points on the curve with an x value of 1. So what should I just do? Plug in x equals 1 where? Into part A or in the original function? Into the original function. It says find all points on the curve. So I'm going to plug in x to be 1. So it becomes y squared minus equals, so is that y squared minus y minus 6 equal to 0? Is that negative 3 and 2? So y equals, and y equals, okay, now read this question again and see if you have answered it. Find all, so how should I really write the answer to be?
It should be -2.
Sorry? Yeah, -2. So what should I actually write to answer the question? Thank you. 1, 3 and 1, -2. Find all points. I just want the y values. Okay, now read the second part of the question. Write the equation of the tangent line at each of these points. No, I'm not making this up. That is the actual question. What are the two things we need to write the equation of a line? Point and slope. Is that the point? Do we have the slope? Can you answer the question? Okay, we'll focus on it from C. Then write down the instruction. Write down the question, please. Again, please understand this. I've taught you well. You just have to follow instructions. And please time yourselves. Please time yourselves. You're not helping yourself if you're doing it open-ended. It took me like 2 hours to do it. No. It's time for 65 minutes. Marzuk today will get done in like 55 minutes or 45 minutes. It's a very easy test. Okay. It says find the x coordinate of each point on the curve where the tangent line is vertical. Nobody speaks. If I have the vertical tangent line, the slope does not exist. But I have a numerator and denominator. Therefore, I set the bottom equal to 0. Play along. Just play along. In your notes, write on VT. Therefore, y dash does not exist. Vertical tangent. Therefore, y dash does not exist. Therefore, 2xy minus x cube equal to 0. Now, guys, a perfect example of a problem, you say, I have no idea what's going on. Just play along. What might I do next step? Pull out what comes inside? 2y equal to, therefore, x equal to 0. Or, no, just write what you would write. Or 2y minus x squared equal to 0. Therefore, 2y equals, therefore y equals x squared over 2. We're not done. Read the question. What is the question saying? Read it again. Find the x coordinate of each point where the tangent line is vertical. What do I do with this guy? Let's plug it in to see what's going on. If I plugged in x to be 0. No, stop. If I plugged in x to be 0. No. I'm okay. I got x to be 0. That's the x coordinate. What else should I do? No. If I plugged in, have a look. If I plugged in x to be 0, what happens? Does that make sense? Does everybody understand why it does not make sense? We got 0 equals 6. Is that possible? So that does not work. Okay? So at that point, there's no point x equals 0. And then we still need to answer the question. What can I do with that information? Make a guess. Plug it in. Just be alive. I'm going to plug y equals x squared over 2 into the function. The answer will just magically show up. So x squared over 4, careful, minus x cubed x squared over 2 equals 6. Look down, please. Look down. Have a little bit of confidence in yourself. What's the first term really? x5 over minus Ooh, not bad at all. Equals 6. Can we take LCMs? What do you get? Look down, look down. Don't look at me. Negative.
2.
Negative.
2.
No, simplify. Negative
Oh,
x5 over
2.
2 or 4? I hope you know how to take LCMs. 4 equals, therefore negative x5 equals, therefore x5 equals. No, it's okay. No, why?
On the right one, this is not that much. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Therefore, negative 24, therefore x equals, x equals 2.
Negative 2.
What are you doing?
It's a negative.
Sorry? No, what's my last step? Sorry, say it again. I can't hear you. Very smart, thank you. The fifth root of negative 24, and that was the answer. Okay, that was the answer. We'll do, I'll keep you for 2 more minutes. I want to do just part A, so we'll be with the class. Copy down that function, please. Just 2 more minutes. Just take the ball and run. Guys, do not get alarmed and don't say, oh my god, but he's never done a problem like this. Like, just solve the equation and plug it in. Just be alive. Okay, they say 2y cubed plus 6x square y minus 12x square plus 6y equals 1. We're going to take the derivative of this. We're doing part A. Okay, look down, please. Look down. I'm going to walk you through it. Look down. Slow down. We're doing implicit differentiation, power rule, chain rule. What's the slope of 2y cubed? 6y square y dash plus, let me help you in case you've forgotten. What am I doing? Product rule. Keep the first guy fixed, times plus y times 12x minus 24x and then 6 y dash equals 0. Let's put the y dash terms together. Y dash can be factored out directly, kids with advanced skills. What are the 2 things inside? 6y square plus 6x square plus 6 equals, careful, watch your signs. What are the right hand side? Negative 12xy plus 24x. And the absolute last step, just divide both sides. So y dash equals negative 12xy plus 24 over 6y square plus 6x square plus 6. Okay, I want to take 30 more seconds of your life. If you look this guy and that guy, they do not match. Because what could I do on top? Take out a negative 12. What could I do on the bottom? Take out a 6. Will the 6 and 12s cancel? And you'll get the answer. Now watch. I'm going to make you smile. Put your pencil down. Wait down. I'm going to make you smile. The AP is very smart. Watch this, please. Do you know this was an easy problem? Because they said, show that this is true. So, if you don't get it, do you know you made a mistake? Okay, now I'm going to make you smile. They are